Welcome. Now I have an exciting one for you today, as we're going to be talking about some awesome upcoming Oculus Quest and Oculus Quest 2 games. Now you may or may not be aware that the Facebook Connect conference happened recently. I saw it, I was actually quite disappointed. It wasn't what I expected. Now I cover some of the things in the Facebook Connect conference very briefly at the beginning of this video. I am a bit negative about the conference, I just can't hide my disappointment with it, but there were some key moments that really got me excited that I will share with you in this video. Now if you like this video and you want to see more upcoming games for the Quest, I do have a recent video that I released that I'll link in the description below, which will cover more games than I show here. If you like the video, like I always say, it really helps me if you give it a thumbs up, and if you like it enough to subscribe, then that would be fantastic. So Facebook Connect just happened and I was really looking forward to this one. But as they say, the bigger the expectation, the bigger the letdown if it doesn't deliver, and I was left disappointed. It was filled with excessive body language, cringe dialogue and awkward expressions. Bruh. But that's okay, as long as we get some juicy details on some upcoming products, but there wasn't much on that either. As Mark himself said, this conference was a bit different to previous conferences.
So today we're going to do something a little bit different. Rather than just focusing on this year's products like a normal keynote, we're going to talk about the future.
There was some discussion around a meta something.
The metaverse. The metaverse. The metaverse. The metaverse is metaverse.
Yeah, it escapes me. But it's a Facebook's vision of a world of endless interconnected virtual communities where people can meet, work and play. There was also some brief discussion of a new headset that won't be a replacement for the Quest, but is coming next year, codenamed Project Cambria, which will be a higher end product than the Quest, designed for the metaverse, which will have new features like sensors that will track your eye movement and facial expressions and recreate that on your avatar. It will also focus more on mixed reality experiences and feature new optics. Oh, and there's going to be a name change from Oculus to Meta. So instead of my Oculus Quest, I will now be putting on my Meta Quest to meta some friends in the metaverse so we can all have some meta fun. And I did manage to obtain some exclusive footage of the Facebook marketing department coming up with a name.
This is 1,000 monkeys working at 1,000 typewriters. Let's see.
Obviously I'm just joking around, but clearly I don't like the name change too much. But maybe you do. What do you think of the name change? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. One good thing about this change is it seems like in the future you'll be able to unlink your Oculus Quest from your Facebook account, so you won't need a Facebook account to log into your Quest and purchase games, and that VR library of games that you already have, that will remain intact. Now how that unlinking will work is still a bit unclear exactly, as there are quite a few Facebook features already inbuilt into the Quest, so it'll be interesting to see how they pull that off. We'll just have to wait and see. Now that's just a very quick overview of Facebook Connect. There's more to it, and if you want to see the whole thing, you'll see a link in the description below. But this video is not about Facebook Connect, it's about upcoming Quest games. Some upcoming game releases were covered at Facebook Connect, but not a lot, and the information they went into was very brief, but they do have their games showcase event, so I expect they're trying to separate the two events, and we'll hear much more about the games in their next games showcase event. But we did get a few diamonds in the rough in this presentation, and that includes an announcement of GTA San Andreas VR coming to the Oculus Quest. So we have bare minimum information on this title at the moment, only yet it's coming to the Quest platform. So for anyone who doesn't know, GTA San Andreas takes place in the early 90s, and you play as Kyle, who gets out of jail to find his family torn apart and also gets framed for homicide. So that takes you on a journey that will take you across the entire state of San Andreas to save your family and take control of the streets.
Ballers, drive by, incoming. Oh, motherfucker, my car!
I think this is a good one in the series to choose because out of all the Grand Theft Autos from that 2000 to 2010 period, it's one of the games that has one of the biggest and most varied maps. So that's going to be awesome to explore in VR. Now we're just speculating here because, as I said, we don't have much information, but I believe it will be first person, just like the Resident Evil 4 VR remake we've received on the Oculus Quest 2 recently. And the original game also had a multiplayer mode where one person played as the protagonist Carl Johnson, while the second player chose from one of several random pedestrian models. So they could choose to be, say, a rival gang member, for example. So will the Quest version have a multiplayer mode? We don't know for sure yet, but if it does, it's going to take this game, which is already going to be huge when it's released, and make it possibly the best-selling game on the Quest. This is going to be huge. Now, one concern I have about this game is you might be aware that dialogue was removed from the Resident Evil 4 VR remake for being misogynistic. Dialogue like this.
You know, you're kind of cute without those glasses. Give me your number when I get back.
May I remind you that you're still on duty?
Story of my life.
Now, if you know anything about GTA at all, you know there are a lot of spicy, politically incorrect moments and dialogue, like this radio advert here.
I'm hungry for something different.
Zebra Bar. Get the fever.
I was always eating fudge, but I wanted to snack on something else.
The front is white and pure. The back is dark and naughty.
What about nuts?
You'll love the nuts.
So the question is, will there also be some censorship with GTA San Andreas? I really hope not, because unlike Resident Evil 4, where some of the dialogue removed wasn't necessarily central to the game, for me, the kind of dialogue in GTA San Andreas is a big part of the game's charm. So will they remove or change anything, and if so, how much? All speculation right now, of course, so we'll just have to wait and see, but is this a concern for you? Or maybe you want the dialogue to change, or maybe you just don't care either way. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below.
See you around like a donut, Carl.
And there was another massive bomb drop during Facebook Connect when they mentioned Blade & Sorcery will be coming to the Oculus Quest 2. Now, I said that this was a possibility in one of my earlier videos, but that it just wasn't confirmed yet. Well, now it's confirmed, and one thing I did get wrong is that I thought it would take a while for it to be released, at least come out in 2022, but it turns out that Blade & Sorcery is coming from the Oculus Quest 2 the 4th of November 2021. That is so much sooner than I expected. So Blade & Sorcery is a fully physics-driven combat sandbox. It has over 20 different weapons that include things like swords, daggers, axes and maces. In addition to standard weapons, you also have spells. Now there's two different modes. There's the sandbox mode, which lets you choose from a range of different arena maps, and then pick the kinds of weapons, items, spells and enemies you want in that map, so you can tailor the gameplay experience to how you want it. And the other mode is a dungeons mode, where you make your way through semi-procedurally generated dungeons with randomized rooms, items and enemies. Then coming a bit later after release is the progression based mode, where I think your character basically starts off with nothing and you have to build yourself up to eventually have everything. So rather than the pure sandbox mode, you have to build up your weapons, items and skills over time. So Blade & Sorcery launches on the Oculus Quest 2 November 4th for the price of about $20 US. And now we also saw this very brief teaser from BEATSABER. It shows this pretty cool looking saber. Now as to what that means, we're not exactly sure, but something flashed up on screen there real quick, you might have missed it. It's the words level up. So what I think this refers to is a leveling up system perhaps, that unlocks different rewards like new saber designs like the one you see in this video here. Again, just speculation, but seems quite possible. The next announcement is an interesting one because Oculus, Meta, announced that they were partnering with VERTIGO Games. VERTIGO Games has brought us such games like Arizona Sunshine, A Fisherman's Tale and Unplugged, all awesome games, and they have on the table 5 new games coming, including fan favourite game worlds from Deep Silver, with Deep Silver being a game studio that's created games like Saints Row, Chivalry and Metro. So could we be seeing one or more of these game franchises coming to the Oculus Quest? I'm not sure, but I'm really excited to find out. But one game that we do know Vertigo Games is bringing us is After the Fall, and we now have a release date for this game. It's going to come out 9th of December for both PC VR, PSVR and Oculus Quest 2. Now there will be an Oculus Quest 1 release, but that will come in 2022. So this release date is just for the Oculus Quest 2 version. Now I've covered this game in quite a bit of detail in previous videos, so I won't go into too much detail. But essentially After the Fall takes place in the ruins of a dystopian LA where everything has frozen over. You have these enemies called Snowbreed, they're like zombies essentially. and you have to go head to head with them in this action FPS with intense 4-player co-op gameplay. Think Left 4 Dead but in virtual reality. After the Fall will also feature crossplay, so you can play with other players across other VR platforms. And before I go, I'll leave you with this little gem from Reddit user Super Snapperhead. We have an executive producer from OCULUS saying there's some big AAA size games in the pipeline. Could this all just be hype? Perhaps. But still very exciting to see, and I reckon we're going to see some big things next year. So what do you think of those upcoming games? I have to say that GTA San Andreas was definitely the highlight for me, and as soon as we hear more about that, I will definitely be making some more content. Anyway, that's it for me for now. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll catch you in the next video.